Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1981 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Blue Jays is Dave Stieb, whose record is 2-4 with a 4.22 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers is Jack Morris, whose record is 2-2 with a 4.95 ERA. And so here we are. We're back at it. We had a day off yesterday. I made three moves. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But now we have our home and home series with the Blue Jays. And so a three-game set here. A great matchup today. Two of the best pitchers from the 80s, Dave Stieb and Jack Morris. If you've watched my videos from 1980 season replay, you know I'm a big fan of Dave Stieb, and I have a lot of great information that we'll talk about with Stieb here once we get the game rolling. So I did make three minor contract signings, and maybe this will surprise you, and I'll tell you about it here in a moment. I signed Tom Hume to a 3-year deal for $100,000. Tom Hume currently is injured. Bob Stanley, who has been nothing but a pain and a terrible pitcher, I signed him to a 4-year deal for $300,000. And Mark Wagner, our backup infielder, basically plays second and short to an additional 2-year contract. Now, the reason why I did this, you may be asking, is that we do have a lot of decisions to be made coming up at the end of the season. And if you take a look here real quick, and you can pause it if you need to, all of these players' contracts are going to be up at the end of this season, including Jack Morris and Trammell and Whitaker, JT, Lance Parrish. That's just the people who are integral to our team, as well as 5 players who are going to be going to arbitration. I'm not going to be able to keep everybody. And so I really want to keep Jack, and I really want to keep Trammell, but they're asking for a ton of money. Each of those players are asking for over $1 million. So if I have to let Trammell go, I'm going to need somebody like Mark Wagner to pick up the slack until we can find a better replacement. So I'm just trying to think down the road to 1982. That is a long time away, and that's why I made those deals there. So, okay, let me know what you think in the comments if I made the right moves there. I'm trying to be proactive, and there's a lot to consider in the upcoming couple of months before the trade deadline. But we're not out of it. We're only 2 games above 500, but we're still in the running. And anyway, here we go. We have all of the bullpen available today. So that's a good thing. And, of course, Jack Morris is on the mound. We'll get to him in a bit. Dave Stieb on the mound. He's a right-hander. I have changed things up a bit. I put Parrish on the bench today. He's not hitting so well versus righties. And I put Marty Castillo in there. And I moved Sweet Lou up to the number 7 spot instead of the 9 spot. Moved Gary Hancock down because he's struggling. And Wayne Gross will be in the 9th spot for us. So that is what we are going to do for today. Let's go ahead and do the Blue Jays lineup rundown. Looks like more of the same from them. Batting leadoff and playing right field is Lynn Jones. Batting second at second base is Garth Orridge. Batting third and DHing is Tim Corcoran. Batting cleanup and at first base is Willie Upshaw. Batting fifth at third base is Roy Howell. Batting sixth and catching is Ernie Witt. Batting seventh in left field is Al Woods. Batting eighth at shortstop is Steve Davis. And batting ninth in center field is Rick Bassetti. And Jack is on the mound. He had a complete game his last start, but he did take the loss. A hard luck loser in that game. So, pardon me, his record is with a 4.95 ERA. He finally got his Ks above his walks in his last start. Opponents only batting .245 against him, and as I mentioned, he did get that complete game in his last start. So here is the defensive alignment for Detroit, as you can see there, with Castillo behind the plate. And let's get started. Lynn Jones leading off, the Blue Jays in their powder blue uniforms from the 80s. And Jones is going to flip it over Thompson's head down the first base line, and Hancock gets it back in quickly. So just a base hit for Jones. So runner on first for Garth Orge, and a wild pitch by Morris moves Jones into scoring position. So this is not a good sign. That's usually a bad omen, as Morris walks Orge, bringing up the lefty Corcoran, former Tiger, 1 for 10 against Morris since coming over in that trade for Bob Baylor last year. Here's a double play. They turn 2, and Jones advances to third. So runner on third for Willie Upshaw, who just made his debut a couple of games ago. He had a home run against us, 2 for 8 on the season. They put him right in the cleanup role, and Upshaw is going to pop it up on the infield, and that does it. No harm, no foul in the top of the first. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Here is the Tigers lineup rundown with Ricky Henderson leading off, playing center field. Batting second at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting third and DHing is Kirk Gibson. Batting cleanup and in left field is Steve Kemp. Batting fifth at first base is Jason Thompson. Batting sixth and catching today is Marty Castillo. Batting seventh at second base is Lou Whitaker. Batting eighth in right field is Gary Hancock. And batting ninth at third base is Wayne Gross. Dave Stieb, man, there's a lot to tell you about Dave Stieb. So he was a fifth-round draft pick in 1978 out of Southern Illinois University. I just said Illinois, but we know it's Illinois. He's a 7-time All-Star. In 1985, he led the league in ERA with a 2.48 ERA. He finished fourth in the Cy Young balloting, the highest he finished in his career. That was in 1982, where he went 17-14 with a 3.25 ERA. He also led the American League in complete games, shutouts, and innings pitched with 288 innings pitched. Wow. In Toronto, in 1990, he pitched a no-hitter, but he's probably most famous for throwing 5 one-hitters. 3 of them came with 2 outs in the ninth, almost throwing 3 more no-hitters in his career. That's amazing. There's only one other player that had 2 broken up with 2 outs in the ninth, and that was a pitcher by the name of Bill Burns for the White Sox. In 1988, he did throw back-to-back one-hitters. The last time that happened was 24 years later by R.A. Dickey. In 1980, he was the first Blue Jays pitcher ever to get an at-bat, and he played left field. He flew out to center field that day. He retired in 1993 for the White Sox. He played his whole career for Toronto, but in 1993, he did sign as a free agent with the White Sox, and then he retired. He took 4 years off, and at the age of 40, he came back to pitch for Toronto, going 1-3 with a 4.83 ERA. He does have a World Series ring, the 1992 World Series with Toronto, but he did not pitch in the World Series due to injury. So that is a lot to tell you about Dave Stieb, and as I mentioned, he's one of the best pitchers of the 80s, certainly in the American League, right up there with Jack Morris. You can see the Blue Jays defensive alignment here. And it looks like they have everybody where they belong for once. And we're going to start off with Ricky Henderson. He has a home run against Stieb. And Henderson's going to hit a weak ground ball to second base. That's one down. Next up is Alan Trammell. Trammell hits a ground ball to second. That's 2 outs. It's going to leave it up to Gibby. And Gibby takes a strike 3 looking. So a quick bottom half of the inning. 1, 2, 3. Go to the top of the second. Roy Howell leading off. 4 for 11 against Jack. And he hits a ground ball right to Thompson, who steps on the bag. That's 1 out. Next up is Ernie Witt. Witt's got a home run against Morris, and he walks Ernie Witt. 2 walks today for Morris. So runner on first for Al Woods. Woods flips it to left on a line, caught by Kemp. There's 2 down. And here is Steve Davis then with 2 outs. And Morris strikes him out looking. We go to the bottom half of the second. No score. Steve Kemp will lead off, and Steve walks Kemp. So we have our first base runner. Wow, this is a double play waiting to happen. But we're going to let Thompson swing away. Oh, nope. I guess if you're going to swing and miss, that'll avoid the double play. So 1 down. Here's Marty Castillo. We're going to hit and run. And he's going to hit a fly ball to center field. Kemp is holding it first, since we were sending him on that play. And here's the hottest Tiger hitter. Lou Whitaker hits a fly ball in the left center field. And that's going to do it for the second inning. We go to the third. Rick Bassetti, the number 9 hitter, leading off. And he gets himself a base hit through the left side of the infield. Only batting 193. He's got above average speed with an 86 rating. Lynn Jones hits a ground ball to short, and that's another easy double play. So Tigers defense helping out Morris. With 2 down, here's Garth Orridge. Orridge hits a line drive right at Hancock, and that's a 3rd out. So we go to the bottom of the third. Tigers do not have a hit. Here's Gary Hancock. We've demoted him down to the 8th spot. He hits that one right off the left field wall for a double. I hope that gets him out of his really slump in the last 2 weeks. A ground ball up the middle for Gross. Moves Hancock to third, and the infield is in. So we need Ricky to hit a fly ball to score Hancock. Let's see if he can get that done. Oh, base hit up the middle. We'll take an RBI single, and you know Henderson's running. So we're sending Henderson, and that was a slider from Stieb, 78 miles an hour, so Henderson steals second base fairly easily. And then Trammell pounds it right into the dirt in front of Witt, and Witt throws it away, or into the dirt, or something happened there. I don't know. I mean, I didn't see it. But Trammell is safe at first. Henderson takes third. It's 1st and 3rd for Gibby. Gibby's been clutch. He's batting .333 with 3 homers, and he gets a base hit to right. Henderson scores. Trammell takes third. That's an RBI single for our boy Gibby. So that means a hit and run time for Kemperino. Kemp hits a ground ball right to short. Oh, and Davis makes an error. Defense is not helping out Dave Stieb. He throws it away. Gibson takes third. Kemp's standing on second. As the Tigers have now scored 3 runs this inning. With 1 down, Thompson's going to hit a fly ball to right center field. Gibby tags up. That's a sac fly. And we're going to have Kemp tag up and take third. So 4-0 Detroit. Kemp on third base for Marty Castillo. And Castillo hits it right back to Stieb. And Stieb ends the inning all by himself. So we score 4 on the 2 errors. A couple base hits in there. Starting off with that double by Hancock. It's 4-0, top of the 4th. Here's Tim Corcoran. And Morris hits Corcoran. Corcoran batting 155. Just got to throw it over the plate. So runner on first for Willie Upshaw. And Upshaw hits a line drive into center field. Henderson makes the play. 1 down for Roy Howell. Howell gets a base hit through the right side. Corcoran holds at second. So this would be a good time for another double play. We got the catcher running. And Morris walks Witt, and the bases are loaded for Al Woods, batting 178. We're going to keep the infield back. We try to turn 2. And it goes right back to Morris. And instead of going home, he goes to second. And a run scores. It's 4-1. So we tried to turn 2. But to no avail. And Morris strikes out Steve Davis to end inning. So the Blue Jays get on the board. It's 4-1. Bottom half of the 4th. Sweet Lou leading off with a base hit to right. And the Tigers have the leadoff runner on. We're going to let Gary Hancock swing away. See if he's breaking out of his slump. Oh, ground ball right to Upshaw, and they turn 2. So, 2 down for the number 9 hitter, Wayne Gross. And Gross hits a ground ball to short. He's been a disappointment, as we were hoping he would replace Richie Hebner and have a little bit better results. Hebner hit 17 home runs, and Morris starts off the inning by walking Bassetti, the number 9 hitter. So Morris has got 4 walks, and I don't think we're going to keep him in there much longer. He's definitely not himself. As Jones pops it up to first. There's 1 out. Next up is Garth Orridge. Orridge flips it to right. And now we got a string of lefties coming up. So Tim Corcoran, not too worried about, as he rips it to right, and that'll be the 3rd out. So Morris lives to pitch another inning, perhaps. And let's lead off the bottom of the 5th with Ricky. And they walk with Ricky. That is a certain opportunity to steal second. And he does on another slider. So runner on second for Trammell. Trammell hits it to the worst bag possible, as Henderson could not advance. So 1 down, Henderson on second base. And Stieb walks Gibby. So, you know, these 2 aces, definitely not in their prime yet. I mean, it is only 1981. So, I mean, they have better things to come, I would think, as Kemp strikes out looking. It's going to leave it up to Thompson, leading the team in RBIs with 23, and he strikes out swinging. So, another missed opportunity. We go to the top of the 6th. We're going to flip it over to the in-game stats. And, I mean, if we had to guess player of the game so far, maybe Ricky with the base hit, RBI, and the stolen base. So Willie Upshaw will lead off the 6th, and he strikes out 3 Ks for Morris at 77 pitches. So he's got a ways to go before he gets tired. Howell flies out to right. So 2 down for Tiger Killer Ernie Witt. And Witt is going to pop it up on the infield, and Whitaker should have it. He does. And a 1-2-3 inning for Morris, straightening himself out. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Marty Castillo pulls it into left center field. Is it going to fall in for a hit? It does. A little duck snort for Castillo. We're not going to go for 2. We're going to hit and run, though, with Sweet Lou. Stay out of the double play. Oh, boy. So Whitaker strikes out looking, even though the hit and run was on. Castillo does steal second base with a 80 speed, which is the average in this game. So 3 stolen bases for Detroit. Gary Hancock hits a ground ball to second, and the second baseman boots it. That's 3 errors on Toronto, and it's first and second now for Wayne Gross. Do something right. Oh, gosh, he just pops it up to Davis at short. I guess all you got to do is put it in play today, though, as Toronto is making errors like crazy. A line drive right at second for Henderson, and that's going to do it. So, again, another missed opportunity. We go to the top of the 7th, 4-1 Detroit. Al Woods leading off the inning with an infield single. All right, so we have some righties coming up, and this will probably be it for Morris as Davis pops it up in the infield. Now, I guess what I mean is that this will be his last inning no matter what, because we do have those lefties coming up. Morris strikes out Bassetti. 4 walks with 4 Ks now with 2 down. And Lynn Jones up. Oh, man, he walks Jones. At 99 pitches, this will be it with all the lefties in a row coming up. Ground ball to short, and Tremble makes the play. So if you look at Morris's day, doesn't look great, but he did only give up 4 hits, and he had those 5 walks, so I guess it could have been better. Leading off the bottom of the 7th is Trammell. There's 1 out. Going to bring up Gibby. Tigers are not hitting this game as Gibby grounds out to first. It's going to leave it up to Steve Kemp. And Kemp hits it hard the other way. It's going to be called on the line by the left fielder Woods. We go to the top of the 8th. 4-1 Detroit. And that's going to be it for Jack. We're going to bring in a lefty. Yeah, so we're going to bring in Capizzello, who got raked his last time up. He just got crushed. Gave up 3 runs in the 3rd of an inning, 2 walks and a hit. But he does have 2 saves on the year, and he's basically our left-handed closer. And if everything goes as planned, he might close out this game. So if not, it'll go to Weaver. Off to a good start by striking out Corcoran. There's 1 down. And he makes quick work of Capizzello, striking him out. And Roy Howell, 2 down, flies out to center field. That is exactly what we needed. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. And they're taking Stieb out for Steve Centeni. And we saw him a bunch last year against us. This is his 3rd game. He does have a win. His ERA is pretty high. He's only pitched 2 in a 3rd innings, giving up 2 runs. He's got 3 walks, 4 Ks. So we got some lefties here. Let's see if we can take advantage of Steve Centeni. Really, Dave Stieb pitched pretty well, I would say. As Thompson grounds out. He's got an no-for on the day. Ground ball by Castillo. He is now 1 for 4. And that's going to leave it up to Sweet Lou. And Lou's going to fly out to center field. So a 1-2-3 inning going to the top of the 9th. We're going to take out Gross. And we're going to bring in Brookins defensively. And Ernie Witt will lead off. We got 2 lefties here for Capizzello to face. Strikes him out. That's 3 Ks by Capizzello. Al Woods is up next. Oh, he gets a base hit to left. All right, we're not going to screw around. We're going to take out Cappy. And we're going to bring in Roger Weaver, who, and I'm going to jinx him, but has not given up a run since we called him up. He does have 2 saves of his own. And Steve Davis is going to hit a hard fly ball to center field. Caught by Henderson. Woods tags up and takes second base, which is a pretty risky thing to do in the 9th inning when you're down 3. So 2 down for Rick Bassetti, and Bassetti's going to hit a fly ball to center. And that does it. Detroit wins 4-1, scoring all of their runs in the 3rd. And we're going to have some difficult choices for player of the game. There is a trade offer from the Astros. Interesting. They're offering us Mickey Hatcher, who is a first base, third baseman, making the major league minimum. I mean, he was basically a pinch hitter in real life. And Alan Nicely, catcher. And we do have some catcher issues. Let's take a look. Well, why not? Oh, he has got a beard. So I don't know. That sort of makes me not like him. But he doesn't really have a lot going on. He didn't do much last year. He has a terrible arm. And, I mean, if you can't hit, at least have a good arm. Mickey Hatcher, most famous for playing with the Twinkies. But he did get traded over to Houston in the middle of the season as Minnesota made all of those crazy trades. Wow. Batted .325 in his time with the Astros. But, we're not interested. Larry Pashnik, we might need him if we get rid of some of our starting pitchers. Take a look at the standings. Wow. You win, you move up. And we jump up a couple spots. At 17 and 14, 2.5 back with the Yanks and the Brew Crew. Let's take a look at transactions. Oh, big trade. Oh, speaking of big trades, holy cow. Wow. So a couple injuries. Nothing, that I'm going to get concerned about. But Minnesota trades Gary Gaetti, Danny Goodwin, MVP Danny Goodwin from last season, to Houston, which of course does not have a lot of home run hitters, for Frank LaCourte, Mike Mendoza, Jimmy Sexton, and Jim Morrison break on through to the Minnesota Twins. So Gary Gaetti, he's only a single A player, but he's definitely the future of the Astros. Danny Goodwin goes right into the lineup, batting .350, and they're getting rid of him. He was the MVP last year. That is bonkers. Then we have Frank LaCourte. He's going to be going over to AAA for the Twins. Mike Mendoza, can't tell you much about him, but he's in AAA. Jimmy Sexton is going to be on the Twinkies, as he was just got a couple pinch hitting plate appearances, and he is on the major league squad at short. And Jim Morrison, who does have some power, he is going to be playing second base for the Twinkies. And he batted over 300 in his time with Houston. So that's a pretty big trade. I don't know what the Twins are thinking necessarily. I'm not sure that's enough, but maybe they're cutting payroll, and I know what that's like. Let's pull up the box score, and we'll get out of here. I'll get Jeremy DeJong. I'm making up those new cards for the Twins. I'm sure we'll see. Oh, no, I think we are done with the Twins. Yeah, we're done with the Twins for the season, as we're only playing 110 games. I think we're going to give it to Ricky Ricky, RBI, and a run scored. He did walk. He had 2 stolen bases. And, we're going to give it to him. And Jack Morris gets the win, 3-2, walking 5. That is rough. Weaver gets his team-leading 3rd save. And nothing much going on for the Blue Jays, as Stieb goes to 2-5. So that's going to do it. We're going to come back tomorrow with the middle game of the 3-game series. Until then, everyone, have a great night.